7 minutes to 6 now.
Now, Ofcom says it's made urgent contact with Elon Musk's social media platform X after serious concerns that AI is being used to create sexualized images of people, including children. Users of X, formerly Twitter, appear to have prompted the AI chatbot, that's Grok, to generate undressed images of people. A post on the Grok X account said there have been isolated cases where users prompted for and received AI images depicting minors in minimal clothing, and added XAI has safeguards, but improvements are ongoing to block such requests entirely. Ofcom says it has contacted X and XAI, but hasn't started an investigation. We can speak to Charlotte Wilson, who's head of enterprise at Checkpoint, a global cyber security firm. Hi, Charlotte. Good evening.
Hi.
When we hear them talking about isolated cases, is that right? Because I've seen lots of people being concerned at this.
I mean, I think we should all be concerned at this, but I've seen multiple cases of things being raised, and certainly at Checkpoint we track this sort of stuff, and I think there are several cases that have come to the forefront. I really welcome the fact that Ofcom are taking it so seriously.
Ofcom might be taking it seriously, but will X care about Ofcom's seriousness on it?
I would have said a different answer a couple of days ago. I mean, I think that they were showing no signs of caring at all. I think they seem to have changed their position ever so slightly I believe that Elon Musk is now saying that he will be treating it seriously and that he will be enforcing things from his perspective and certainly notifying. So, I mean, I hope that's the case. That does seem to be the direction they're going. A couple of days ago, I would have said quite differently.
I mean, you know, when we're talking about generating sexualized images of children, undressing women, this is the kind of thing that people absolutely fear the most in terms of the way that AI can be abused by certain users, can't it? I mean, we're talking about, you know, harassment. We're talking about absolute humiliation for the people involved. But of course, you know, this can go into all sorts of other illegal activity, can't it? Around grooming, about the sharing of the image amongst paedophiles. So it couldn't be more serious, really.
No, I mean, it's horrendous. It's absolutely horrendous. We've been worried, like I say, for a long time. We've been tracking the weaponization of AI. Let's not kid ourselves. It can be absolutely fantastic for some things, but it also can be used by people that don't have good intention. And because AI now, it lowers the point of entry for further exploitation. So these women and children are very vulnerable. And the burden and responsibility seems to fall on the brave women coming forward. Mm-hmm. And let's be honest, it's not images of them, and yet they will feel the same shame. Yes. And the same deep wounds that they would have felt if it was pictures of them. It's absolutely horrendous. And then when it's children, I mean, that most people don't know where to go. Where do you go to report this sort of thing? What's the chain? If you get your phone stolen, you'd largely ring the police, wouldn't you? But if this happens, who do you ring? You've got the shame element. Do you tell your parents? You know, it suddenly becomes so much harder for them to have to deal with, and then impact that into school environments. You know, these things can lead into cyberbullying in school place. It's just horrendous, absolutely horrendous.
When you say you've been monitoring it and the impact of this, have you at the same time been flagging it up, or have other voices, presumably other voices in safeguarding, child protection, etc., have been saying, you know, before today, before Ofcom have got involved, look, social media company, this is what is happening. What are you going to do about it? And it feels like this has been going on for some time, given the seriousness of what we're discussing here. Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, I think us and other companies, we have global threat teams, and we do a lot of research material to show where these things are happening, where there could be dangers. We do that for our customers, but we also do that for the general public to be able to consume. The problem is with AI, we're in a bit of an arms race. All the tech companies want to win the battle of AI because there's an awful lot of profit in it. I mean, I think I read that it's 22 trillion is the size of the potential AI market. Right now, I think there's a lot of focus on making a profit and make it being the number one AI platform. And maybe some of the concerns are less looked into with centrifugal.
But I suppose it's as much whether someone should have not foreseen this working for those companies. It feels like, you know, in the mind of evil intent, this would be quite an obvious thing for someone to want to potentially try with an AI if they were, you know, criminal minded ultimately. And you would have thought that the social media companies, for reputation as much as anything, would want to get ahead of that.
Yeah, and I think they possibly do where they can. The one thing that we're deeply lacking is a international treaty level agreement across different countries of how we want to treat AI. I mean, how do we put the fair rules and the laws, and how do we legislate? And I think we've seen that happen independently. You've seen the EU come out with legislation independent to the US, independent to the UK. Okay. I think that's where there's greater work to be done.
All right. Charlotte, thank you very much indeed for that. Charlotte Wilson, Head of Enterprise at Checkpoint, a global cybersecurity firm. As we approach 6 o'clock, it's 5 o'clock. 6 o'clock, it's 5 o'clock. 6 o'clock, it's 5 o'clock. 6 o'clock, it's 5 o'clock.